Hello, everybody. Welcome to Telli Talks, where we talk about life, growth, relationships, and all things in between. I have a very special guest with me today, Myles Be, and I'm going to let him tell his journey. Cheers to being a new father.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely.
We're
Drink
going
this
to talk
water.
about that too.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta stay hydrated, y'all.
Oh yeah, gotta keep the skin clear.
Stay hydrated.
Gotta keep
Amen.
it clear.
Amen to the skin clear. Okay, so for the people that don't know your journey, can you tell us how we got to where we are today?
Oh yeah. Well, I was actually born and raised in Los Angeles, so started off here, and went to Westchester High School. Really local kid, and then from there I went to Fresno State. That's where I started my whole acting journey. I kind of stumbled into it because so my freshman year of college, I was never a studier. Okay, I was always just like a kid that kind of just clung onto things naturally. I was able to pick them up naturally, kind of survive off my notes. So my freshman year of college, I didn't realize that you actually had to put more effort than just showing up. So I was barely showing up. Freshman year of college, by the time I was done, I was on academic probation. So then what it made my enrollment for the next year, pushed it back. A lot of time I had to enroll. There were no classes left. I was like struggling to try and find those 12 credits so I could be a full-time student, because I needed that financial aid. And so I went to this orientation at the beginning of the school year, like right before school started. I went to this orientation, and this professor said that he had classes worth up to like 3 to 4 units. So I emailed him asking if he had any classes open. He said no, but he had this play he was doing. Somebody just dropped out, and I can come sit in a rehearsal. If I liked it, he would give me 3 credits to do it, and then we could knock it out like that. So I said okay. I did it. People were like, hey man, you're actually good. And then the middle of my second year, I changed my major to dramatic arts.
Oh wow.
And then from there, I started like really excelling in the craft of acting, and started winning collegiate acting competitions. I got a full scholarship to go to UNC Chapel Hill, where I got my MFA from, and graduated in 2017, and then came back here. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's just been like a literal full circle. I left to come back.
That's amazing that your path led you right back home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you didn't even know that was your path.
Yeah, I had no idea. I mean, I knew I wanted to do something in the entertainment world, whether it was sports journalism. I thought I was going to be like Stephen A. Smith or something like that. But that wasn't really in the cards for me. Of course, I thought I was going to be an athlete when I was younger. I was always getting injured. That wasn't in the cards for me either. So it was like, well, what can you find that gives you a great feeling, but if things go your way, you could actually make a living off of.
Absolutely.
And it was acting.
So you were recently in the new film White Man Can't Jump, and you had a hilarious part in that. How do you kind of get into your role when you do act?
Well, I think each character requires something different. So like for White Man Can't Jump, since it was based in LA, it was surrounding basketball, it was surrounding friendship and love, and that was real easy for me to connect with. That was really easy for me to jump into. I didn't really need to do a whole bunch of research or worried about like being in the moment or whatever. Like, no, I mean, I'm just gonna be present and serve this moment right now. And for that's really all it took. I had great people beside me and in front of me with Sinqua and Jack and Vince Staples and Tiana Taylor, Laura Hay. All these people were great. The director was great, Cal Maddock. He really allowed me to bring my own stuff to it. And so, by the end of the shoot, you were like, hey man, I don't know if you said any of the lines that were on the script. And even for the final cut of the film, like, it's truly not an exaggeration. About like 95% of the lines in the film I made up. And that's a testament to one, the comfortability of the cast, but also more so to the director and him allowing me to play and him feeling confident in what I was doing.
Absolutely.
So,
No, you did an amazing job.
Thank
and
you.
it was so good. It was so funny. It was well made, and I actually liked this one better than the first one.
Ooh, don't say that too loud. You don't know trouble. That's trouble.
I know, but it was just it was so well put together. And usually I'm not the type, like I'm a movie person, and I usually don't like watching remakes because it just messes up the initial one. And it's like, you know, when you have these classic movies, why remake it when it's so good? And then it was just well made, and it was funny, and it was, you know, it was LA, and it was just well made, you know. And I just feel like it was a younger version and more modern version of the classic, and it just made it so much doper to watch. And it's not like it was similar, but it had its own different points.
Absolutely. And I think that on that point, it allows it to stand on its own without having to compare them too much, right? Like the original one was a little bit darker, a little grittier, and this one is a little bit more buoyant, is way more colorful and a little bit more light, but it still has the energy of Los Angeles, right?
And it's modern, you know, you're talking about the veganism and just like all of that stuff, and I love it. And it was so well made, and you did amazing, and the cast was amazing on it. For movies, when you do like movies, do you have a role that you kind of like not go towards, like let's say for example scary movies? Like, are you like, okay, you know, this is against my religion, I don't want to do a scary movie? Is there anything that you kind of like don't do?
You know, I don't want to do anything involving like pedophilia or dealing with kids or playing, you know, they have a lot of like Jeffrey Dahmer type of roles and things of that nature. I'm cool off that. You know, I don't really want that informing my life, and I don't really want that energy to seep in to me in any way. You know, because you don't really fully have control of how your character will affect you. I mean, you do to a point, because, you know, it is ultimately your body, it's ultimately your conscious and your being. But at the end of the day, you never know what's going to come home with you from portraying a character. I mean, you know, if it's a film, like it could be 2 to 3 months. If it's a television show, you could do years of a character. And so if that's the case, I'm not sure. I am sure that I don't want that type of energy to be hovering around me. Now, I am willing to take certain risks and go deep into certain characters and things of that nature. But again, like I said, I don't want anything that I feel is going to compromise myself and my internal being. Absolutely. Yeah, it's just not, it's not worth it to me. It might be worth it. It's worth it to a lot of people.
Right.
But like I'm cool with playing things that I don't know, that I can kind of wash off easily.
Yeah, that was kind of my next question on like taking your role with you or making it be a part of you, because people, you know, some people click like check in and check out of work, you know. It's like some people don't, and you take that with you, and how you take it with you and how it impacts your life, like your reality outside of acting, is how do you kind of let go of that?
Yeah, well, honestly, it was hard in the beginning, especially because I come from the theater, and when you're in the theater, you're literally like, you're this character, and you're saying these lines so many times that it gets ridiculous, it gets redundant, and you're literally going over them in your sleep. So in the beginning, it was tough because I would go so deep into this reality that we're creating on stage, and spending so many hours in rehearsal, having 10, 12-hour rehearsals, having 6-hour rehearsal every night for 6 weeks or however long it is. And, you know, when I would get done with certain performances, I would be so emotionally drained that I wouldn't really have anything for myself. And it actually, it affected my social life a lot. When I was in college, I tended to stray away from large gatherings, being around a lot of people at the same time, going to parties of that nature, because I didn't really have anything to give, and I kind of felt disconnected from that sometimes. It really made me kind of secluded. I really secluded myself for a while. So with more training and more understanding of how I do get affected by things, I learned what it takes to step out of a character, to wash a character off of me. But it definitely took practice, because at first, it's a very emotional medium, acting is, and so I would put everything I had in there, but not realizing, like, okay, you need to have a method. Just like you have a method to get in, you have to have a method to get out.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And what are the things that you do to kind of get out of that role?
So sometimes it's real simple. I mean, sometimes it's really simple. It could be simply of like just getting stillness, right? Like putting my hands on a still surface, just kind of like to eliminate the movement of my body, to allow myself to know that I'm here, that I'm real, that you know, everything that's moving inside me is inside, and to try to calm that external energy that I have. Sometimes it's me just going through like the reel of what's your name, what day is it, where are you right now, what color are you wearing. It's all to bring you back to presence, really, because you're in this imaginary world. And it can feel real depending on what type of actor you are. There are those actors that, like you say, they clock in, they clock out. They're able to put that mask on and take it off. Others, it's not always like that, right? So, you know, like it really would take me to just become present. Sometimes I have to understand that all these things are not really happening. So what's happening right now in front of me? Who am I talking to? Okay, what's her name? Okay, what does she look like? What is she wearing? Like literally those type of things. And and it, you know, it's definitely necessary.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely necessary.
Especially when, you know, you have these roles that, like the Joker and, you know, things like that, and you know, the O.J. Simpson role, and just these certain things that just consume your own reality and your own existence. And just, you know, I always wondered like how people kind of like check in and out of that, you know, because I had this very, very small like 2-line role in the cut with Bentley Evans, and I was like literally practicing for maybe like 2 weeks for like 2 lines, and I was like, what should I wear? Should I do like where I overanalyzed the situation, and I was like, man, I was like, if I was to act, how involved I would get in the role and how hard it would be to like get out of that role. Especially if it's not something that you like, you know, comes naturally.
And look, you're talking about that for 2 lines, right? I mean, imagine like I've done plays where it was only me and one other person in the play, and we're playing 5 characters each, and we're on stage for 2 hours without a break, without intermission, like 1 hour and 45 minutes with no intermission. So like we're in this trance for 2 hours. I mean, and then even like the prep time prior to you getting there, like you go to your, so since that was a 2-hand play, and my co-star, it was a woman, that means we both have our own dressing rooms. So we're in our dressing rooms prior to the play for at least 1 hour by ourselves. We probably going over our lines, stretching, warming up, whatever it is, getting ourselves. So I mean, we're talking about at least 3 hours of thinking in a specific type of way, a specific type of direction. And if you are not prepared to get out of that trance, then it's going to linger with you. It just is what it is. Especially if you are extensively trained. I mean, but I think also what goes with being trained is how to get your ass out of there. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I saw that really early on, that I was going to be a person that needs to learn how to step out of things, because my emotional investment is really high in my characters. It's just the person that I am. So with that, natural. So with that, like I'm what I really learned about myself when I became an actor was how empathetic I am. And I wasn't really attuned to that at first. But now I see like it's really deep. So I have to also be able to take care of that.
Absolutely. And knowing your mental capacity of what you can and can't take is essential into being an actor. And knowing your limits, knowing your boundaries, and knowing what, you know, I genuinely believe like energies and auras and all that is like real, and it can spread if you're not, you know, if you're not positive, like your negative day gonna spread over here, stay your ass over there. You know, like I don't want it, I don't need it, I got a lot on my plate, just don't do it. So I genuinely believe in that, and just surrounding yourself with good people that can help you get out of that trance. And, you know, if you can't help yourself, or, you know, there's or actors that do, you know, want to act and not realizing like it's not all cameras and lights all the time.
I mean, rarely is it. I mean, because like just breaking down the timeline of like work, right? So I've been out of graduate school since 2017. What year is it? 23. Okay, so that's 6 years, and through those 6 years I've had probably 7 television jobs, or between television and film, whatever like that. So that means that's average about like 1.5-ish jobs per year. However, the way that it's fallen out, there's been 2 years where I didn't work, a year and a half where I didn't work, 9 months when I didn't work, 6 months when I didn't work, and those are exact month things because I'm big on numbers, and my mind was like, hey man, it's been a long time since you've done your thing. But that's a lot of time to sit down and not be in the thing that you've been trying to do for the past 10 years. So like a lot of people, what they all they see is the successes. I mean, that's how it is. Like nobody else is coming on the auditions with me. Nobody else is submitting these self-tapes with me. It's me. I'm doing these things. So when I don't get the role or whatever it is, nobody's seeing that but me. And I'm not sharing all the times I don't get roles. Nobody's like, hey y'all, so yeah, I auditioned 4 times this week, didn't get none of them. You know.
Right.
But they do see the joint on television when it comes on. They do see it on in the theater or whatever streaming service it comes on. And so sometimes it can kind of create a warped vision of what the reality is. The reality is I shot this movie 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. Since then, how many times have I worked? I mean, so there's a lot of sitting, waiting, preparing, and then just also just living. But not all those things are shiny or attractive all the time.
Absolutely.
Not as attractive as the result is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So when finding these roles, you don't use an agency.
No, I have an agent. I have an agent. Yeah. I have an agent. I have a manager. I was very fortunate to be able to get that within my first 6 months out of graduate school. But they're people that I trust. Well, so I've had the same manager since I started. And they were in the game. They're tandem managers, and they take great care of me. I love what they do. They've been doing it for a long time. I have a great rapport with them. I can call them whenever I need them. My agent, I've been with my agency for the last 3 or 4 years. And again, have a great rapport with them and all those things. And when I don't feel seen, or I don't feel like I'm getting the opportunities that I want, or I don't feel like I'm getting the type of auditions I want, I voice myself.
Absolutely.
And they're receptive. And the times where they have been receptive, they have changed trajectory, or they've kind of put a little bit more heat under the flame, whatever it is, and kind of got it going for me. So I've been really fortunate. But yeah, pretty much outside of, because now with this writer strike going on, there's less and less things happening. And so like now I've been doing more independent things and doing things with friends of mine, and just trying to cultivate ourselves. But outside of that, it all comes through them. Agent, manager.
That's
absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So for aspiring actors and actresses that want to get into this, like the world of entertainment, what do you think? Name 3 things that you would suggest or not suggest them to do.
Oh Lord. Well, one, I would say buckle up. Buckle up. I would suggest that you have a great sense of self, whatever that means. Means something else. It means something different for everybody.
Absolutely.
I would suggest that you do the work, meaning classes, schooling, whatever that may be. Do the work, and then give yourself grace, because sometimes you can beat yourself up, and sometimes you can be your own worst enemy, and sometimes you can be your biggest hater. And you don't need to be that. You need to learn how to champion yourself. You need to learn how to be your biggest cheerleader, and not necessarily in an arrogant way or a fake way or a way that you have to put somebody else down to feel good. Like, find your genuine happiness, your genuine genuine sense of self-worth, because that will allow you to move graciously through the industry, right? Like, I have a lot of friends that are also actors, right? If I didn't have a good sense of self or a good sense of my own worth, it would be hard for me to see their successes. Absolutely. But you have to be able to see other people's successes and cheer like it's yours in order for your real blessings to come. Otherwise, you're always going to be comparing yourself to somebody else's blessings. Mm-hmm. You're always going to be measuring your life with somebody else's ruler, and you can't do that.
Absolutely.
So that's what I would say for sure.
No, that's amazing, amazing thing and just great advice to give anybody that's not even just an actor, but like in life,
Yeah.
you know, like good
Yeah.
life advice, things. And to take away from the acting side of it, you have a beautiful family and
Yeah,
a new
yeah.
son. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
your
Thank
son.
you.
How is being a father impacted your life?
Oh man, well, it impacted my life immediately. As soon as I heard his first little sound, I was like, oh my God. I mean, and the shift was so immediate.
It's
And
a
I
different
think,
type of love.
oh my God. And only other parents really understand,
Absolutely.
you know, because when I didn't have a child, I would look at other people with kids. I'll be, yeah, it's cute, but keep your kids over there. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Or you would see people post their kids like, damn, all they do is post their kids. I don't want to see that baby all the time. And I have to keep myself from posting my son every day. I mean, like, you know, so
And they
it's,
grow so
oh
fast.
my gosh, it's so fast. But it's one of the most beautiful things in the world. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
The
Oh, man.
purity and the innocence of like children is just phenomenal to see. And then like, you know, you as a parent raising them and your
Yeah.
upbringing and your morals and your
Yeah.
standards, and then to see them, you know, you have a baby still, so it's
Yeah.
like to see them develop into their own and like their own characters
Yeah.
and like, you know, how they are
Yeah.
within themselves, and taking a piece of you and your spouse and
Yeah.
like what characters does he have that is like me, or what
Yeah.
characters does he
Yeah.
have that's like
Yeah.
her. And it's just it's I don't even know how to describe it, but like it's a different type of love
It's a
than
different type of
you
love.
can ever love anyone
Absolutely.
in the world. It's a part of you, so
Yeah.
it's like loving yourself at
Really,
the end of the day.
and it truly is. And then when you do see parts of yourself come out, you're like, oh, that's what I look
That's
like when I
me,
do that.
yeah.
Oh, damn, that you got me in there, you know. But like it's literally the most amazing thing in the world. And my son's almost 2 right now, so his curiosity is through the roof. He's all
Yes.
over the place, but it's so amazing.
Yes.
But it's also a great reminder for me to be like, hey man, sometimes, you know, just take it easy and just be like your boy here.
Yeah.
And just like, you know, be curious, you know, and just and have fun and just live and be in the moment. I mean, you know, kids keep you on your toes,
Man,
you know,
takes
like
a
nothing
village.
else. It takes a village.
It definitely
and they
does.
keep you on your toes, but it's like it's the most rewarding challenge in the world.
Absolutely.
And what I will say is that, like, for what it did for me, like personally, even with my mind, is that instead of waking up in the morning and thinking of me first, I think of my
Yes.
child first.
Yes.
And that is actually an extreme relief,
Yes.
because I used to wake up in the morning sometimes with anxiety about what hasn't happened or what's going to happen, trying to figure out what, you know, when the next thing's going to come, who should I try and call, who's going to call me, or whatever it is. And now I wake up and think like, does my man need to eat? Is he hungry? What's his diaper smell like? He's
Yeah.
smelling a little funky right now, smelling a little sour, you know. So it kind of also took me out of my own way, which I'm very grateful for.
Absolutely.
And it's truly amazing.
I tell my eldest, well, he's 17,
Oh,
or
Lord.
about to be 17. No, he just look at me, Lord Jesus, I got too many kids.
Can't even count them all, don't you?
So we have 8, but the 16-year-old just turned 17 in April. Yeah, so 17 years old, and just to see him grow, like from, you know, teaching him how to pee with like Cheerios in there and aim, and you know, just the little things, and
Yeah.
you're just like, now
Yeah.
he's grown, and
He's
you know,
grown.
he wants the manscaped shaver, and I'm like, what you trying
What
to
you
skate
trying to
down?
skate, bro?
And I'm telling
Who's
you,
gonna see
like,
that, dog?
exactly my point. And it's just like, just the thought of that is just like, oh,
It's
like
daunting. It's
disgusting.
crazy.
And it's like, but you know, they grow up, you know,
Yeah.
eventually, and then you
Yeah.
got, now I got a 5-year-old, and it's just like, I can't even mention, and I ask her, you know, she knows she's 5, but
Yeah.
like there's times where she's like, I'm 16, and I'm like, no, you're not.
You're not.
You better not.
You're not, child.
Yeah.
And don't be trying to act like you
don't
are.
grow up too
Yeah.
fast, and you
Mhm.
know, she'll just make her little kissy faces, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Lord have all the mercy.
Yes.
It's hard. It's hard because, right, you know, they're gonna want to go and do their own thing, and you see that
Yes.
at a really young age. They're like, oh
Yes.
no, they're gonna do what they want. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just up to you. Be like, you know, trying to kind of pad the area so when they do
Right.
fall, that it doesn't hurt them too much.
Right.
But and you know, I haven't stepped into this part of it yet too much. But when they are making their own decisions and start becoming like an independent human, and you kind of just got to let them learn their own lessons and kind of
It
fail.
starts earlier than you think, though.
gosh.
It starts like at 5. Well, my daughter, 4 or 5 years old, she started being like, all right, I want to do this. I want to order this from this place, you know? And I'm just like, oh, she has, I mean, I always knew she had her own mind, but it's almost like you lose that control earlier than you think you do.
Oh, man.
You know, and it's like 5 years old. My daughter's like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to sleep that early. That's not my bedtime. And I'm like, oh, but it is.
It is, though.
And you're going to go to sleep.
It is, yeah.
Until you, you know, it's crazy, and it's happening so fast. And they're smarter than you think. Like my daughter was doing this like dance TikTok with some of her friends, and she was like, this is literally like so cringe. And I was like,
oh my God.
Wait, what did you just say? You're 5 and you're like literally so cringe. Like, and they're asking her like, KK, how do you know what cringe means? And
it's
she's
nuts,
like, I cannot. I'm like, how?
But you know, like these children now are exposed to more than any generation 100%. Of humans have ever. So I mean, the amount of information that is crossing their face every day is ridiculous, especially if they have phone, if the TV, like this just, it's too much for a parent to police, especially when you have multiple kids, especially when you have jobs and all. So they're gonna see things that you're not showing them.
Yes.
And then, you know, you hear them say, it's tough. I do have a 14-year-old sister, and just to see the things that she's dealing with, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't deal with that problem until I was in college.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring up. Have you ever watched the show Euphoria?
Yeah.
Okay, so as a parent, now that you're a parent, because when I watched that, my son watched it and he was like, Mom, you gotta watch Euphoria. And I was like, nah, I don't know if I'm gonna want to watch that, because then I don't want that vision or thought in my head, like this is what happens in schools and this is what's going on now. You know, so I was like, you know what, if he watched it, I gotta watch it because I want to know what he's watching, of course, know? So I watched and I was like, oh my God, this is real life. And I'm like, crazy. What in the world? Like, would you be able to do a show like that knowing you have a child and like knowing that this could potentially happen? I mean, you have a boy, so it's a little bit easier, I feel like, with a boy than it is with a girl. Like to just, you know, girls come home pregnant. A guy can't, you know? And I just like, just knowing that in the back of my head as a parent is like, you know, whew.
I mean, I definitely think about, I think about my representation anyway, but I definitely do think about when he does come of age and is able to look back at the things I've done. Like, Dad, you did that?
Right.
And then having to talk about them. You know what I mean? So that's why, but that's also why, like, and even before my son came, that's why I was also really big on, like, the type of roles I choose. Now, like, when you're just starting out, you kind of have to get what you can get. Like, you got to take what you got to get. You know what I mean? And they might box you in, but at least you're working. If you get boxed in, that means you're working, right? So it's like, get boxed in first, then try and step out that box. So like, for Why Men Can't Jump might be the first job. Yeah, Why Men Can't Jump was the first job I think I did where I wasn't wielding a weapon. I didn't have to shoot anybody. I didn't have to get shot at. There was no foul play involved, right? I got to live. And like, I mean, there were all I made it to the end, you know? And that was huge. That was like a huge small victory for me because I don't want to always be the guy that's shooting something up. Always the guy that's, and I don't want my son to when you grow up, like, he might think that's cool, you know, and there's certain things that are cool and they look cool and it's all that type of stuff. And
it's acting. And you can express that. It's
exactly, you know? But there's certain things that are not fake. And so there's certain things I will not do because you have to do that for real. So I'm going to keep myself from doing certain things for real. I'm just going to keep it as fake as possible. And for him, like, as he gets older, he'll see certain things and however he responds. But I feel like I have the sense of integrity enough that I'm not going to do something that I'm going to feel ashamed about.
I love that. And you know, when my son was old enough to know, which I think about like 10, 11 is when I told him, like, I stopped living for myself when you were born. You know, I'm now living for you and the betterment of you. You don't want your kids to go through the things that you went through or the lessons that you learned. You want them to do better. Or you would think that everyone wants them to do better.
You know? I think if you're a good parent, that's what you want.
Right, absolutely. So you just try to do better and the best you can. And even though there's times that you might fail because we're not perfect, we're human. and or they might not accept the way that, you know, we discipline, or might not accept our opinion, and it might not be what they want.
Right.
You know, it's what we want, because at the end of the day, you still in my household. So until
you
get out and want to make those decisions, then
oh man, I can't wait till those conversations
I'm the
come.
mama.
Oh,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? So
It's my house conversations, Lord.
yes.
Lord,
You gotta bring the culture back in there real quick. But absolutely, you know, it's all about your upbringing. So for everyone that comes on this show, we play this game called Dirty Mind.
Oh wow, okay.
And
Talk about it.
Dirty Mind, but very clean game.
Cool,
so we're describing a word. You can pick 3 cards. Best out of 3 wins.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pick mine first.
Okay.
All right. I sit on a man's face.
Okay.
Hitler had a small one.
Oh yeah.
Colonel Sanders had a big one.
Ooh.
Women usually shave me off. If you trim, you can make me look smaller.
Yep. Talking about a mustache.
Good job.
Come on now. You know what I mean? I got sense. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh wow. I get fingered a lot. People people love to stick me in their mouth. Just looking at me can make a woman drool. I'm about 6 inches long. My nuts can get stuck in your mouth.
That's all the clues?
Yes. I'll repeat them. I'll repeat them. I get fingered a lot. People love to stick me in their mouth. Just looking at me can make a woman drool. I'm about 6 inches long, and my nuts can get stuck in your mouth. What am I?
Candy bar?
Wow. That was pretty good.
That was good?
That was
I got
good.
it?
Yeah, that was it. That was pretty good. That was pretty nice. That was pretty nice. You want to go again? Yeah. That was pretty good.
I was thinking, I was like, okay, what has nuts?
No, you got to put them all together in a clean way.
Absolutely. Okay. I sit on your face.
Okay.
Sometimes there's hair growing around me. You're happy when I come. You have to use your lips to do me. I'm stuck between your cheeks.
You're talking about my mouth?
Close.
But repeat that again. That was a lot.
I sit on your face.
Yeah, okay, you're on there.
Sometimes there's hair growing around me. You're happy when I come. That's the best one.
That's the best
clue.
That's the best clue?
You're happy when I come.
You're happy when I come, but
you have to use your lips to do me. You're happy when I come, and you have to use your lips to do me is the best clues. I'm stuck between your cheeks.
Teeth. Your teeth?
Close. Smile.
Smile. Oh, okay. Okay. I was getting there. The smile. You're happy when I come. The play on words with this is pretty great. It's pretty great. All right. I'm a 4-letter word. I end in UCK. I can help you grow a big bulge in your pocket. When I go down on you, it can be expensive. When you're not in me, you can blow your wad. We'll repeat these. I'm a 4-letter word. I end in UCK. I can help you grow a big bulge in your pocket. When I go down on you, it can be expensive. When you're not in me, you can blow your wad.
Luck.
Wow. Damn it. You're really good at this. This is pretty ridiculous.
I'm really not, but all I think of was a 4-letter word and the blowing the wad part.
Right, exactly.
I usually suck. I usually suck.
That was pretty good.
Okay. Last but not least, all my holes are open to you.
Oh, wow.
Your stick needs to be long and straight to play with me.
Okay.
If you haven't got the balls, you can't do me. You usually rub your tip before you shoot. Sorry, let me read that again.
Okay.
You usually rub your tip before you shoot. You don't want to scratch your balls.
Okay. Let me get those one more time.
Okay.
I'm trying to register.
All your holes are open to you. Wait. Okay.
That's why this game is. Okay. And we're only drinking water.
I know, right?
Okay.
All my holes are open to you.
Right.
Your stick needs to be long and straight to play with me. If you haven't got the balls, you can't do me.
Golf.
No.
Damn it.
You usually rub your tip before you shoot. Yeah, pool
Boom.
table. Yep.
Yeah, pool table.
The
That's
best
it.
one is you don't want to scratch your balls.
You don't want to scratch your balls. Yeah.
That's the best one.
No, that is pretty good. I'm telling whoever wrote these, y'all up to something. All right. When I'm not screwing, I can be bored. You can stick me in to make your hole wider. I can help you get your nuts off. After you charge my battery, I can help you do it yourself. When you finger my trigger, I plunge into your hole. Seriously, whoever. They had a ball doing these.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
One more time.
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
thinking of a tool.
Okay.
But okay.
Okay. When I'm not screwing, I can be bored. You can stick me in to make your hole wider.
A nail?
Nope. I can help you get your nuts off. After you charge my battery, I can help you do it yourself. When you finger my trigger, I'll plunge into your hole. What?
A drill.
Yeah.
A drill?
Wow. 3 for 3.
Ooh.
Yeah. That was pretty nice. That was well done. What a fun game.
And you
Yeah,
got
utterly
two?
gross. I got two.
Okay.
I want to say two.
Ooh, I
2.5.
finally won, y'all.
Two and a half
I finally
though,
won,
because I still said teeth. I just didn't say the form.
Right. You
know.
was in the vicinity. You was in the vicinity. Tell everybody
Damn.
where they can find you, all the things that you have going on,
Yeah.
all the things they need to tune into, all that good stuff.
Yo, y'all. So you can find me at Myles Be on Instagram and Twitter. White Man Can't Jump just came out on Hulu. Dave out on Hulu. Vince Staples show coming out in the fall. Commercial coming out soon. Acting classes coming soon. And self-love everywhere.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys tune in to all the things Myles has going on. And that is it for Telli Talks.
Yeah.